Steelers again. This is getting to be fun.
Straight ahead on What's New, 4-1. The Browns head towards Steelers rivalry week with their best record in more than a quarter century. Jim Donovan is here with what's going right.
Akron, Ohio, we did it again.
Add another ring to LeBron James' personal trophy case. We make the case, is he now the best player of all time? That debate discussion coming up.
COVID stigma. Instead of sympathy, kids with a positive coronavirus test say they're feeling judged and getting bullied. Some expert advice on how to cope. Protecting patients, reuniting families. Indoor visits start today for assisted living facilities, what they're doing to make sure loved ones can be together safely. Better than Black Friday? From Amazon Prime Day to the big box stores, the hot deals that go live tomorrow.
And eat like an NBA star. The Cavs chef shares his personal simple and healthy game day donut recipe. It's so easy you can make it at home. What's New starts now.
And now, live from WKYC Studios, this is What's New.
As always, Jimmy Donovan said it best. This is getting to be fun.
It is.
I can get used to this Victory Monday thing. Hello again, Northeast Ohio, and welcome to another edition of What's New. Thanks so much for joining us. I'm Jay Crawford. The Browns are 4-1, and Betsy, I love the color of that dress.
Victory Monday!
That is outstanding.
So, true story. In 2015, I started doing Victory Monday dresses.
Okay.
And I was like, oh.
So that means you had to buy like 3 over a 3-year stretch.
Well, you know, I'm kind of thrifty, so that meant in the winter, all of the fall orange dresses I could find, I was buying them. Like anything orange. I'm like, next year is it. I didn't get to wear one in 2016. In 2017, I was pulling tags off of things.
Oh,
so
horrible.
I'm glad to get to roll them out. They're just a couple years old now, but
it's okay. They look brand new to me. And this feeling is brand new, Betsy. The formula yesterday was really similar to the Cowboys win just a week ago. The Browns jumped out to that nice lead after a stellar first half on offense, but then the offense sort of hibernated in the second half. They got conservative, but the defense made the plays when they needed them, and the Browns hold on to beat the Colts by 9 points. And here we are, folks. Your Cleveland Browns are 4-1. I just can't hear that enough. Let's bring in the voice of the Browns, Jim Donovan. And Jim, though the Browns have as many wins as the entire NFC East, that 4-1 record is only good for third place in the AFC North.
How about that? Yeah, Pittsburgh undefeated, and Baltimore in there with the one loss. But remember, head-to-head, the Browns ended up losing to them. But the Browns are just gradually showing to the rest in the division, and certainly the NFL, Jay, we are for real. And there was another moment yesterday where typically in other years, when Betsy wasn't allowed to wear the orange dress because of the outcome, the Browns would have folded. When the Browns gave up that 101-yard kickoff return, it was a real problem, but they fought through that, and they ended up winning. So it's a Victory Monday for them. They pull it out by 9 points, 32-23, and they go to 4-1 on the season. Look at Ronnie Harrison with a pick six right there that ballooned the game and the lead to a 17-point lead. And Myles Garrett pressuring Phillip Rivers right here to throw for an intentional grounding penalty out of the end zone and a safety, which was very, very important. So the Browns are 4-1 now for the first time since 1994. And so we get ready for a big week coming up. But first of all, let's deal with the story of Baker Mayfield. Mayfield, the latest on him right now is that he was hit yesterday on that play that ended up as an interception. Justin Houston landed on him hard. We thought it was his shoulder. Instead, it was his ribs. X-rays negative. The coach said today Baker is sore. He's going to work through it all week long. Mayfield said after the game, "Mama didn't raise me to miss a game like this." He actually said something else, but we'll keep it that way. And so he's expected to play this Sunday at Heinz Field. Now, speaking of Heinz Field, okay, big week, Steeler week, but Kevin Stefanski downplaying the rivalry, saying this, coming out of this week, we just want to be 1-0. Now, to us, it means everything that the Browns go over there and finally win. They've only won in that stadium once. Now, the Steelers are playing very well. They're undefeated for the first time since 1979. but they've got everybody back, and especially one guy back, Ben Roethlisberger. He's healthy after missing virtually the entire season last year. They beat the Eagles yesterday. They got a little scare late, but they hung on and they won the game. They won by 9, just like the Browns won in the game. There's another storyline going into this game coming up on Sunday. There's the Myles Garrett storyline. The Myles Garrett incident last year in Cleveland in the Thursday night win by the Browns over the Steelers when he got involved with quarterback Mason Rudolph. Took the helmet off, hit Rudolph with his own helmet, and, of course, was suspended for the rest of the year. Now, the Browns went over to Pittsburgh a couple of weeks after that, but Myles Garrett wasn't a part of that because he was off the team at that point in the time with that suspension. Now he goes back, but there won't be any fans there. The Browns say they're not going to play up the story a great deal this week. And I'll tell you what, Jay, Myles Garrett is playing at a level right now that is extremely high. I think I am watching him play the way Bruce Smith played with the Buffalo Bills for so many years. I mean, he is making those kind of plays right now that turn the game around and swing the game. So it will be really critical that he remains cool and calm and the real Myles Garrett on Sunday over there in Pittsburgh.
Yeah, that is the comparison I'm hearing a lot of. Jimmy, I was thinking earlier today, I can't remember the last time the Browns had this kind of a difference maker, the disruptor on the defensive side of the ball. And back to your 4-1 point, it was 1994. It's interesting, Jim. Bill Belichick was the head coach. Nick Saban was the defensive coordinator of that team. Belichick, of course, has gone on to win 6 Super Bowls, and Nick Saban has gone on to win 6 NCAA championships. So it's arguable that the Browns, the last time they were 4-1, had 2 of the greatest coaches in the history of this sport, and now they're 4-1 with little old rookie Kevin Stefanski.
How about that? And a couple of quick points to build on that. Remember, that year, the only team they couldn't beat were the Steelers. They ended up losing 3 times with them, once in Cleveland, twice in Pittsburgh, the second time in the playoffs. And the Browns quarterback that year, a brilliant job by Belichick, he reinvented Vinny Testaverde.
Yeah, so you figure if he can do that with Vinny, what will he be able to do with Tom Brady? He won 6 rings. Jimmy, thank you so much. Always good. We'll keep the train rolling, and we'll see you later at 6 o'clock sports.
And we continue now on your feed at 5. We are keeping a close eye on COVID in our schools, where it's more than just numbers. As more students and teachers test positive for COVID-19, it doesn't just mean a change from in-person to remote learning. The impact is also changing students mentally and emotionally. For example, over the weekend, all schools in the Willoughby Eastlake School District were told they would have to learn remotely for 2 weeks due to several COVID exposures. The superintendent tells us that has led to rumors spreading about students who have or might have the virus, and online bullying has increased. 3 News spoke with a child and adolescent clinical officer about how heavy that can be for kids who are already dealing with a layer of anxiety and stress from living in the pandemic.
When you layer on bullying, you know, it becomes, especially if they're being suspected to be the cause of a whole school system to be shut down, or the fact that, you know, now their peers are having to all be virtual and families are impacted because now it affects their ability to work. That's a huge burden for a young person to have to carry.
And we know school hallways can be a savage place to live. Well, Thomas says that you should talk to your kids. It's going to help you understand their level of concern, their anxiety, their fear. And tonight at 6, Thomas gives us some concrete steps to take if you think your kid is being bullied or if your kid is the bully. I think it's a very interesting topic that every parent should pay attention to because, you know, we do know that there will be cases coming out, but then it turns and these kids just take advantage of it. And, you know, it's a stigma then that you have to bear if you're a young person in these schools. And you don't want that, certainly. But this is where empathy and compassion can certainly play a huge role in many lives.
Yeah, Betsy, they certainly don't need that. You mentioned the things that all kids are already dealing with. And now if you throw on that extra bit of pressure that, geez, you may be the reason that the school is shut down or going virtual for 2 weeks. Look, viruses spread. That's what happens. This virus is spreading to people that are following all of the protocols.
Yep.
It doesn't give you a 100% protection barrier if you're constantly wearing a mask, washing your hands, and social distancing. this thing travels. And we know that. And it's not necessarily, in fact, I think doctors would say, and oftentimes it spreads through no fault of the person who receives it.
Right.
It just happens.
Also, for parents who are dealing with their child being the bully, that is definitely one spin that probably you haven't thought about yet. Again, we'll have details on that coming up on What Matters Most at 6.
Really interesting topic. Okay, Betsy, as we take a look now at our coronavirus figures from today, it needs to be noted that we hit a grim milestone today. We eclipsed 5,000 deaths now here in the Buckeye State. Today's numbers, we reported 1,430 new cases. That is above our 3-week average, which is now up to 1,191 cases on average a day. As we look at our other key data points, our single-day positivity rate is now at 4.0%. That is up slightly from 3.7%. Hospitalizations are again inching closer to that 1,000 mark. We added 64 new COVID-19 patients statewide. That gives us a total now of 949, and we are reporting 6 new deaths from the virus, which is up from 2 yesterday. We've had just 11 deaths over the past 3 days, but I would expect our typical Big Tuesday spike tomorrow as we catch up with the weekend numbers.
Well, there are so many people who have waited so long, and now families can visit their loved ones indoors at nursing homes and assisted living facilities. This is such a big deal for many families. Outdoor-only restrictions were lifted today, and those who are elderly or have pre-existing conditions are most at risk when it comes to complications from COVID-19. So to help prevent spread of the virus, residents at Menorah Park in Beechwood, for example, are allowed only 2 scheduled visitors at a time each week. Health screenings are done before being allowed inside, and visitors also have to wear approved masks and meet with their loved ones 6 feet apart while inside a large auditorium.
It's really nice for the residents to be able to welcome their family back into their home, even if it is just at the entrance kind of area.
We try to balance the human stuff and the emotional stuff, but is it a challenge and tough and hard? Darn right it is, and it's terrible. But if you want to keep these folks safe, that's the bottom line, what you really got to do.
Well, the chief operating officer at Menorah Park says they test residents and staff each week for COVID-19. Visitors, by the way, also not allowed to bring anything inside the facility, so no cookies.
Well, today was a big day in Washington, D.C. as hearings got underway for Supreme Court nominee Amy Coney Barrett, President Donald Trump's choice to replace Ruth Bader Ginsburg. Russ Mitchell joins us now with the big moments from today's opening statements. Hi, Russ.
Hey, Jay, good afternoon. A lot is on the line, of course, for both Republicans and Democrats in this case. Today, Democratic Senator and Vice Presidential nominee Kamala Harris argued that the confirmation should be postponed due to coronavirus concerns. She also charged that the president is trying to use the court to get rid of the Affordable Care Act, which the court will take up on November 10th. On the Republican side, Missouri Senator Josh Hawley brought up Barrett's Catholic faith and accused Democrats of religious bigotry. Judge Barrett also gave her opening statement and shared a glimpse of her judicial philosophy.
The policy decisions and value judgments of government must be made by the political branches, elected by and accountable to the people. The public should not expect courts to do so, and courts should not try.
Barrett also paid homage to late Justice Ruth Bader Ginsburg, saying she may fill her seat, but no one could ever take her place. Judge Barrett's confirmation seems all but certain. No Democrats have said they will support her, but Republicans still have the votes to push through that nomination. Only 2 Republicans have said they prefer to fill the vacancy after the election. By the way, the full Senate can vote in her confirmation as early as next Wednesday. So, Jay, this is moving fast and furious.
All right. So far, Russ, things seem to be much more civil than they were the last time around. Let's hope that continues.
Let's hope so.
Yeah. Russ, thanks. We'll see you in a little bit on What Matters Most at 6. Next on What's New.
Akron, Ohio, we did it again, and, that's what it's all about.
Well, LeBron James shouting out Akron after winning his 4th ring last night. But is he the greatest of all time? That debate heats up again And we're going to talk about that next.
I like that. Thanks a lot, LA. And yeah, I'm bringing that trophy back to Akron. Hey. All right. And the Indians, friends, they have canceled a very popular event already for next season. We'll have all the details ahead in Clicking in Cleveland.
And Jason is in for Matt today. Jay, what's coming up in the forecast?
Hey there, Jay. Overall, it was a beautiful one across Northeast Ohio, but we have some cool weather that's going to be heading our way. I'll let you know how low temperatures are going after the break.
It's over. This historic 2020 NBA championship belongs to the Los Angeles Lakers.
LeBron James added more hardware to his personal trophy case last night when he led the Los Angeles Lakers to their first NBA title in 10 years. But more importantly for LeBron, this was his fourth NBA championship, his fourth NBA Finals MVP. He's now accomplished that with 3 different teams, and James is the only man ever to do that.
For me to be available to my teammates and put in the work, I just hope I make my guys proud, and that's all that matters to me. I make my guys proud, make the fan base proud, my family back home. I can't wait to get back home to them. Akron, Ohio, we did it again.
So, of course, this rekindles one of sports' great debates. Is LeBron James the GOAT, the greatest of all time? Betsy, you're shouting yes. Okay, very interesting. I posted a Twitter poll this afternoon asking that very question, and more than 1,600 of you have weighed in. It's very close, but right now, the yays have it. 51% say yes, he is the GOAT. 49% are saying no, he's not. Betsy, here's just a few responses, and it looks like the no's were a little more motivated to weigh in with their thoughts. Barb Strauss tweeted, talented player, but his lack of class will never allow him to pass Michael Jordan. Jay Davis tweets, I just can't turn away from MJ as the GOAT. The greatest I'll ever see anyways. If someone wins 7, then the discussion is on. For now, I have to think it's MJ. And Cray DC tweets, greatest of his era, maybe, because Kobe and Duncan did play in those eras as well. Feel free to discuss. And so we will, Bets. Here's the thing that I always come back to. I always come back to this thing.
Okay.
No player in the history of the NBA has ever before or will ever again do what LeBron did in 2016. He led a 7-game NBA Finals in points, rebounds, steals, assists, and blocks. Those are the 5 stat categories in the NBA. He led it against the greatest regular season team ever. The Warriors, of course, set the record for the most wins in a regular season that year with 73. LeBron led all 5 stat categories. I still can barely get my mind around that. That makes me lean more towards he's the most dominant player that we've ever seen. The fact that Jordan was 6 for 6 in NBA Finals and took 2 years off in the middle of, bookending three-peats. He would have won 8.
How many of those titles, though, did Jordan win with the same team members?
Many of the big pieces were there, but only 3 players were on all 6. So when you look at it that way, there were a lot of revolving parts. I think one of the things that hurts LeBron is that he's a ring chaser. He left Cleveland to go to Miami to win a couple there, came back to Cleveland, then went back to L.A. to chase a couple more. That hurts him. But, boy, when you look at what he did in 2016, it's hard to say he's not the greatest ever.
Well, I just look at the fact of the matter that, as I mentioned, MJ had his teammates and his team, LeBron's done this with a whole host of different people. I mean, think about how many people he's played with.
And he's only won 4.
Carried the team all the way through. So, I mean, obviously I'm a girl from Akron. So
sure. You're a little biased.
I am slightly, completely biased. But it's something that I think is very cool. And we take a lot of pride in him.
Last point in the discussion, his body of work is still in progress.
Absolutely.
He might end up with 6.
He might.
Okay.
It's not over.
It is not yet.
He could come back to Cleveland.
I wouldn't bank on that.
I know. And by the way, if any of the other people had schools and they're sending, entire grades of children to college and all that stuff, I don't know. There might be that factor that comes into play as well. Hey, Jason Fraser's in for Matt Wintz today. Jason, another beauty. I have been giving all credit on beautiful days to Matt Wintz. Therefore, the credit today will go to you. Congratulations and thanks.
Oh, thank you. Oh, you know what? I appreciate it. And by the way, just weighing in on the conversation, no question about it. I think LeBron's the greatest. He had multiple different teams that he did it. And it's not because I'm working here in Northeast Ohio. Jordan basically had the same supporting cast. So I know I'm probably going to get vilified on Twitter for that.
Oh, that's all right.
Whatever.
I am too.
All right, so let's talk about this weather. One of the things that I know a number of you have been seeing all around Northeast Ohio are these midges, especially if you are close to Lake Erie. So I want to thank one of our viewers, Steven, over in North Kingsville. He snapped a photo of all the midges that were on his front screen this morning. As always, if you have an interesting weather photo, upload it to the WKYC app. We'd love to see it, and it's the second option on there. So as you prepare for tonight, one of the things I want to let you know about, you've probably been hearing the wind move back and forth, especially along the lakeshore. The winds will be picking up tonight, and so if you have anything that is what I call wind sensitive, like plants as well as maybe some animals like a dog, you may want to bring them inside. And there's no need to water the lawn, and that is all because we're going to see some moisture move across our region. As far as the winds go right now, they're ranging anywhere from 9 to about 17 miles per hour. They are out of the southeast, and we're going to see some winds overnight gusting up potentially to about 40 miles per hour. So the closer you are to the lakeshore, the more likely that you will see some very breezy conditions, and it is all associated with a storm that's going to be moving our way. Doppler radar right now, despite some of the cloud cover we're seeing, things are calm, but that is our next weather maker that is moving over Chicago and into the Michigan area. That is going to be moving in our direction here within the next about 6 hours. Behind it, though, we do have some cooler air, so we are going to see temperatures drop from where they were today in the 70s to potentially only topping out in the upper 40s and low 50s. Temps right now across the region, 72 here in downtown Cleveland, 74 over in Elyria. National Design, an hour-by-hour forecast talked about some of that moisture moving in. The good news is it's going to happen when the majority of you are going to be in bed, so the best chance at seeing some of those rain showers is going to be after about 11 o'clock and potentially to about 6 a.m. tomorrow morning. Universal Windows Direct 7-day forecast. Low for tonight will be about 50 degrees. High for tomorrow, 65 degrees. And then we'll top out around 70 degrees. And Betsy, we drop down dramatically by the end of the week. We are talking about middle 50s by Saturday.
And that change is going to stick around not just through next weekend, but it's going to carry on to the week after, too. We'll have more details on that tonight at 11 on What's Next. Thanks so much, Jason. Appreciate the update. Well, still ahead for us here on What's New, an Indians fan favorite event is a no-go for next season. I have the details ahead and Clicking in Cleveland. All right, everybody, it's time now to check out what's clicking in Cleveland. Here's a look at some of the stories people are checking out on our app and our website. The Cleveland Indians have decided to cancel Tribe Fest 2021 due to the pandemic. Tribe Fest is the team's annual off-season fan fest, and it's a fantastic day. It usually includes autographs and interviews with players. The team says it's still hopeful that fans will be allowed to see the Indians play in person at Progressive Field next spring, so no fan fest. Well, LeBron James is taking part in a current social media challenge called How It Starts versus How It's Going. The challenge shows how people's lives have progressed over time. This morning, the LeBron James Family Foundation posted this picture. It shows him playing for St. Vincent St. Mary's and then him after last night's win with 2 trophies. The caption reads, "Just a kid from Akron with 4 NBA championships and 4 finals MVPs. That's a pretty good deal. Congratulations, LeBron. Very proud."
Pretty good. Yeah, just a kid from Akron. Not just any old kid. Pretty special kid.
There's a lot of any old kids from Akron. But I'll tell you what, it's kind of cool, and I love that he brings it back to Akron, and he stays with Akron. And
He's
that's
been
home.
very, very proud of his hometown throughout. He's really brought Akron a lot of acclaim, and you mentioned it in passing earlier, but what he's done with his foundation may in the end be his greatest accomplishment
His community impact is undeniable.
Unreal.
Certainly. All right, well, still ahead for us here on What's New. There are a lot of new things companies are doing to get your money this holiday season. A consumer spending expert is going to join us live to tell us what's worth the money now and what you should hold off on buying.
And then, Betsy, I'm not saying that if we eat these, we're going to go on to win NBA MVPs.
Are you sure?
Pretty sure, yeah. But we are going to eat like the pros. The Cavs chef is going to share his personal recipe for donuts that are actually healthy. We're going to try them. We have some product in the building. I'm looking forward to that. Trust me, it's easy. Stay tuned. You'll like this recipe quite a bit.
And the Browns are 4-1 for the first time since 1994. It's been a long time. Our Mike Polk gives his take on why 2020 is the year that the Browns will finally do well.
I can't wait for that.
And now, live from WKYC Studios, this is What's New.
Just looking back on my Twitter feed, because last night I was so excited, watching the game, listening to Jimmy. I usually watch it with the audio off and I listen to Jimmy.
Like all of Cleveland.
It's a little bit of a different sync, but I get the excitement of Jimmy and the fun on the TV. But at the end of the game, I tweeted out the last time, hashtag the last time.
Right.
The team was 4-1. I was a sophomore at Bowling Green.
Wow.
And Baker Mayfield wasn't even born. A stamp was 29 cents.
If you're under 30,
yeah,
this is completely new to you. If you're a Browns fan, you don't remember when that was 26 years ago. You don't remember the Browns being 4-1.
You don't.
But here we are.
And obviously that is our big top talker because we are soaking in this delicious feeling that's going on. But the other part of it is we take that delicious feeling and hopefully get to bank it, because pretty soon you're going to get bills and you're probably going to lose a little bit of that delicious feeling, because we are talking about holiday shopping already. Prime Day is now just hours away. Other retailers are also offering some big savings that you can scoop up.
So what should you buy right now and what should you hold off on? Here's NBC News investigative and consumer reporter Vicki Gwynn with some exclusive sneak peeks.
It's the Super Bowl of savings, the holiday shopping season kicking off earlier than ever, with Amazon shaking things up.
It's easier to save than ever.
Sarah Skirball is the shopping expert for Retail Me Not.
Prime Day it's much later in the year than normal. How does this affect our holiday shopping?
I expect shoppers to start getting out there and shopping for holiday gifts. Our research suggests that 75% of people are looking to start their holiday shopping earlier than ever.
Amazon now hours away from its biggest event of the year, 2 days of mega deals. This morning, Amazon exclusively revealing deals to Today viewers. 40% off this Gotham Steel cookware and bakeware set. For kids, 43% off this Avengers action figure pack. But it's not just Amazon. Walmart has its big save event underway, exclusively sharing its deals with us. Starting tomorrow, $132 off this 50-inch Samsung TV and $68 off this hoverboard for kids. And Target's online deal days begin tomorrow and Wednesday. Deals you're seeing first on Today. Shoppers can save $150 on Beats Studio 3 headphones and 30% off kids' fleece and denim. Many other retailers like these also offering big bargains. According to the National Retail Federation, 59% of consumers say they'll do more of their holiday shopping online this year compared to last year. And they're looking for deals. 94% of shoppers say sales are just as, if not more, important this year as a result of COVID-19.
Are Prime Day deals really the best deals you'll see all year long?
Prime Day deals are going to be really great on a few certain categories. You want to pay attention to anything Amazon owned. So devices, think Echo and Kindle, Fire, things like that. Even Amazon clothing brands like the essentials and the basics.
With fierce competition, how can you take advantage of the savings? First, familiarize yourself with the retailer's app or website. Then, make your shopping list. On the Amazon app, you can get deal alerts.
It's easy. Just launch the Amazon app, tap on the settings menu in the bottom right corner, then tap Today's Deals. You'll want to click on the icon that says Upcoming, and then just scroll down. When you see an item you want, just tap Watch This Deal.
You'll be notified when that item goes on sale. Another tip, on Prime Day, look for deal badges like this that say Prime Day Deal. If you see this icon, you know the item has been discounted. Experts say electronics, clothing, shoes, jewelry, and kitchen appliances top the list of hot items.
This is a year where we may not want to wait for deeper deals. Why is that?
That's exactly right. This is a very uncertain time, and I think we should certainly expect inventory issues and shipping delays. So if you see something, a really good deal, for example, pounce on it now.
But don't settle for the price you see. Check the competition, including Amazon's two biggest rivals, Walmart and Target, to see if the item is cheaper.
Are there any items shoppers should hold off on to wait for deeper discounts?
In the middle of December, for example, that's when you're going to find the deepest discounts on those toys. But you run the risk of those items potentially selling out.
To save money on shipping, order bigger ticket items like TVs and furniture online and select in-store pickup.
It might be in your best interest to consider buy online, pickup in store, where you can still take advantage of those deep discounts that are happening online.
Tips for you to save big this Prime Day.
I literally have been taking notes. You got to get organized. And if they're launching this so early on us, man, I'm going to hopefully get done.
You know, you had me at deal alerts, Betsy.
Yeah, I know,
right then. Sold.
The bad news is I'm still going to be wrapping presents at 0 dark 30 Christmas Eve, but that's okay. That's what mommies are for,
That's
certainly.
true.
All right,
That's
well,
true.
obviously, Russ Mitchell joins us now to give us an update on some of the other big stories making news today. Hi, Russ.
Hello, Betsy. Here's what's happening. Both presidential campaigns making stops in the Buckeye State today. No doubt it will not be the last time we see them before Election Day. Former Vice President Joe Biden holding a drive-in rally for UAW workers in Toledo before heading to Cincinnati for a voter rally event. Vice President Mike Pence filled in for President Trump today during a stop in Columbus. By the way, the president is in Florida this afternoon, holding his first campaign rally since testing positive for coronavirus. Scaled back Columbus Day celebrations took place in Little Italy with a mass at Holy Rosary Church, followed by a wreath-laying ceremony at the Christopher Columbus statue in Tony Brush Park. The Knights of Columbus and Knights of St. John were there honoring Columbus on what has become a controversial subject and holiday.
We respect and we support the right of every group to celebrate their contributions to America. All we ask is that everybody else respect and support our right to do so as well.
This year's Columbus Day Parade was canceled because of coronavirus, but organizers promise it will be back next year. And Akron police are looking for the man caught in this video shooting at an 11-year-old and a 15-year-old as they played basketball on Rockaway Street. That video captured by a neighbor shows a man getting out of a white Pontiac G6. You see him there and firing several shots. Luckily, the boys were not hurt. Police say the boys had yelled at the driver to slow down. We'll have much more on that story tonight on Channel 3 News at 6. Just heartbreaking once again, but glad those kids were not hurt.
Flabbergasted.
Yep.
Oh, hopefully there's some very alert folks there who can track that one down. Sure. Thanks so much, Russ. We'll see you again coming up on What Matters Most at 6.
Still ahead on What's New, Mike Polk Jr. gives us his take on what's new with the Browns this year and why they are doing so well.
And they're delicious little bits of dough that just make me happy. We're talking about donuts, and we're going to learn to make some that are a little bit healthier version that even pro athletes will eat.
Total shadow. Hey, how we doing? Just wandering around this haunted manor here. Yeah. How we sound in here? This is what I sound like. I am down here at the old stadium, the old First Energy client number 1.
Oh, yeah, sure.
All right, it's 5:41 or just about there. And, Jason, we had another beautiful day today, albeit a little bit breezy. But this time of the year, we keep saying, at some point it's going to change. At some point it's going to change. And it's kind of been bonus time, I feel like we've been in. But at some point it's going to change, right?
I know at some point it is going to change, but you know what? I am married to a woman from the South, and I have been trying to hold it off for as long as I can. But you know what, Betsy? We can't do it. I don't, Mother Nature is just going to come in here. We're going off that cliff at
just buy her a new cute coat. She'll be all right. Here, sweetie.
Oh, okay. All right. She has clearly gotten to you. Well, one of the other things that has been changing over the last couple of weeks are the leaves. I've been driving around not only here in Columbus, but also parts of Akron, and I'm starting to see the leaves change. I definitely want to thank Elizabeth Savage over in Ashtabula. She took this picture of the fall foliage, and if you have a cooler picture, I'd love to see it. You can upload it to the WKYC app. It is the second option that is on there. So helping you prepare for tonight, we are going to slowly start to see the winds pick up, especially for those of you along the lakeshore. It's been a little bit breezy today. today. So if you do have any outdoor pets or plants that are sensitive to the wind, would highly encourage you to bring them inside. And there's going to be no need to water the lawn, and that is because we are going to get an overnight rain shower. Winds right now are anywhere from 9 to about 17 miles per hour, and I talked about some of those winds gusting up. I think in the early morning overnight hours, that's when we'll likely end up seeing winds gust up anywhere between 20 to about 40 miles per hour, especially for those of you in Sandusky, Lorain, even downtown Cleveland. And it's all because of the storm system that is going to be pushing in. Right now, things are calm. Doppler radar is showing you that, but you can look at that system that stretches all the way from Canada into even the outer parts of the Memphis area, and that's going to be sliding its way into our area sometime in the overnight hours. Now, behind it, we do have so much colder air that is hanging out over in Montana, and that is going to be sliding its way likely here within the next 48 to 72 hours. Hour by hour we go, I should be saying, sponsored in part by our friends at National Design Mart. Overnight, we are going to see temperatures dropping down into the lower end of the 50s, but after about 11 o'clock, those of you on the west side will start to see some greater cloud cover as well as some precipitation. So Sandusky, Elyria, Mansfield, even downtown Cleveland will end up seeing the rain showers before those of you on the east side. I think after about 1 a.m., that's when some of those rain showers will likely impact your area. And tomorrow morning, overall, I think after about 7 o'clock, things are looking pretty good. Universal Windows Direct 7-day forecast, high for tomorrow, 65, 70 by Wednesday, and then Betsy alluded to it. We're going to head into a cliff, folks, and we are going to be dropping down, Jay, to the mid-50s by the weekend. So it's definitely not only sweater, but also coat weather.
Not looking forward to that, but I know it's inevitable. Jason, thank you. We appreciate it. Well, we know that Browns fans are feeling pretty good today, another victory Monday, and now the team is 4-1. But let's face it, this is a new sensation for us. We're not used to this. So our own long-suffering Browns fan, Mike Polk Jr., has some thoughts on our winning stretch during a year that continues to surprise us.
Happy Victory Monday, everybody. The Browns are winning, and it is glorious. But to we traumatized long-term fans, it's also very confusing and difficult to trust. Why, after 20 years of profound incompetence, have things suddenly seemed to change? My first thought was that our team might be experiencing a new sense of confidence based on our steep upgrade in head coach handsomeness level. Look, no offense to Freddie Kitchens, whom I'm sure has his own earthy appeal to a certain demographic, but our new coach is handsome enough to play a TV dad on Beverly Hills 90210. And it's difficult not to feel some swagger when you have a silver fox like that prowling the sidelines. Am I right? But of course that can't be the only reason, because our city just isn't that superficial. After all, we all cheered on Jeff Garcia in 2004, and he looks like one of my cousins from Appalachian, Pennsylvania. So what else has changed for the Browns this year? I think I figured out the answer. It's us, the fans. Or more directly, the lack of us. Because apparently our team plays better without having all of us there. Which I've got to admit stings a little bit. Think about it. Since the Browns returned in '99, we filled that stadium to capacity for nearly every home game, every season, no matter how bad the product on the field was. That's 67,895 fans watching their team lose almost every game for 20 years. But we're now 4-1. And the Browns have accomplished that in front of a total number of fans comparable to the average attendance of a local Saturday farmer's market. Of course the Browns would become good and start winning a bunch of games when it's almost impossible for we fans to actually go in and watch them play. How did we not see this coming? Is there anything more Browns than the team starting off 3-0 at home in a year when only a minute fraction of us can actually go and watch them win? All that had to happen for the Browns to become good was for the universe to find a way to make sure that I couldn't be there to watch it happen in person. Now, to be clear, I'm not complaining. I'll take it. I'm just presenting my hypothesis. The reason we're winning now is because we are the Browns, and it's the year 2020. This is the weirdest, most confusing year of most of our lifetimes, so of course it makes sense that this would be the Browns' year to be good. And you know what, folks? I think it's going to get even weirder, and consequently even better for us. Ask anyone outside of Cleveland this question. Based on how 2020 has played out so far, which NFL team seems most likely to win the Super Bowl this year? Anyone who's been paying attention to both 2020 and our team's history will almost certainly say, well, the Browns, obviously. So there's your silver lining to 2020, Cleveland. This is exactly the kind of chaos that we've all been waiting for, and I am by no means too proud to embrace it. So I say we own this weirdness and embrace our destiny. 2020, finally paying off. Go Browns.
Oh, that is so very good. Mike, I have a statement and then I have a question. You said, is there anything more Cleveland Browns than us being 3-0 at home, but none of us can see it? I hate to present this possibility, but yes, we could end up starting 10-1 and then have the whole season be canceled because of this nasty coronavirus. That's possible.
It's absolutely possible, yeah, it is, and that's frustrating, and nothing would be surprising at this point, obviously. But really, I'm excited that we're winning, and I am happy about it, obviously, but it is weird being in front of this building as a season ticket holder that I spent so much time in when I was allowed in there being sad, and now that if I could be in there, I would be happy. I am no longer allowed in that building. It's just kind of a weird feeling.
Yeah, it is, and it is a very Browns thing to have happened. My question to you is, does your cousin know that you absolutely body slammed him on Cleveland television?
Yes, they are aware. They know it. We all know what we look like. We look like some hill folk, and we've come to terms with it. But, you know, we've accepted that a long time ago. We are what we are. That's our slogan.
All right. Well, poor Jeff Garcia, I guess. I love your story, as always. We'll hopefully keep this thing going and see what happens. Mike, thanks. Always good to see you.
We deserve it, Jay.
We do.
We deserve it. Have a good one. Go
Browns.
You know what else we deserve? Donuts.
I think we should make that a Victory Monday tradition.
Oh, that's a great idea. I really love that idea. I totally am. Let's keep in mind, though, typically they are delicious, but not really good for us. Now, bring in the Cavs team chef who's going to show us how to make healthier ones, and it's not that hard.
I've never seen in my whole life people cutting down trees.
All right, this kid is absolutely adorable, and he was in awe of the tree trimmers that were working near his grandfather's house. So the kind gesture that he showed workers was repaid by them big time. It's a great story. We share it with you in our Show Us Something Good coming up.
All right, we know it's an easy slam dunk. Donuts are amazing. We all love them, but they aren't exactly good for us. What we didn't know is how much our Cleveland Cavaliers players love donuts too. But they aren't exactly the perfect fuel for elite athletes. So the team went behind the bench and called on Cavs team chef Terry Bell to get crafty, and he created a gluten-free donut that is so good they're now preferred by the players. Here's Chef Terry to show us how to make them at home.
Today I want to make for you these, they're a gluten-free donut. We use these a lot of time for game days for our guys. They like to have donuts, so we do a little bit of healthier gluten-free donut for them. So I want to start off with, I have a dozen eggs here. I've got 1 cup of coconut oil. I like to heat it up in the microwave or some way, however you like to heat it up, just to get it to where it's liquid form. You're just gonna go ahead and dump this in. And then I have, again, warm honey. But I heat it up. You go ahead and dump that into our eggs. And then I have 2 teaspoons of vanilla. And you're just gonna go ahead and just whisk this up. Here I have a 1.5 cups of coconut flour. This mixture here is baking soda. It's a teaspoon and a half, and 2 teaspoons of salt. Again, just go ahead and mix it all in, get it to where it's nice and blended. Then I like to use a avocado oil pan spray. You can use whatever you'd like, whatever you have, and just generously go ahead and spray your silicone donut tray. You can buy these in any one of your box stores, or I got mine online. And just go ahead and fill your donuts. Don't need to be too full. I go about halfway because they will rise. I like to just kind of lightly tap them in, get any air bubbles out. So we're just gonna go ahead. I'm just gonna throw these in a 350-degree oven for about, like I said, 8 to 10 minutes. Just kind of checking them once you get to about the 8-minute mark, to where they just don't look like they're starting to burn. So now that we have these out of the oven, I just go ahead and put these on a cooling rack because I want them to cool down a little bit before we go ahead and frost them up. I've got a white chocolate and I've got a regular chocolate here. So I thinned out the chocolate with some coconut oil just to make it a little thinner. So what basically I'm gonna do is I'm just gonna go ahead and have fun. Put your hands in there, dunk these things right into their white chocolate, and I'll do some in chocolate, and I'm gonna go back through and drizzle opposite. We got our white chocolate that we dunked in. We're gonna just go opposite, and I'm gonna go white chocolate. Have fun. Just go ahead and just drizzle right over top, just like so. And again, this does not have to be perfect. I sometimes feel the messier looking, the better it looks. Then I'm gonna take my chocolate and just go ahead and, again, drizzle right over top. And if you have sprinkles or any sort of stuff, you wanna have like a donut bar set up, you can have the kids go ahead and make their own or whatever. And then there you have it. So these are our gluten-free donuts.
Now, cooking with coconut flour is kind of tricky. Jay just said he thinks he can make these, but that was at the point that the guy was drizzling the chocolate on. You think you can bake them?
I think I can do the whole shooting match. I'm just going to say, you know I'm not nuts about gluten stuff. This is absolutely delicious. I'd never know it wasn't completely a normal donut. We got a great story for you on the other side of this break. Don't go anywhere.
Was that for me? Akron police are still searching for the driver, and anyone with information is asked to call the police. If the man is found,
Is that a problem when the mic's off? I don't know. What are you trying to say? All right. Thanks. Testing 1 2. Testing 1 2 3 4. Thank you.
Yeah? Pretty good. How are you? Yeah, like awake, like wide awake. During the daytime.
We wrap it up with our Show Us Something Good. Comes from Rhode Island. 5-year-old Parker and his grandfather watched tree trimmers cut down branches near power lines by their house. Parker was amazed by all of this, so he wrote the workers a card, left it on a tree branch, thanking his new friends for a job well done. Well, his new friends returned the kind gesture, Betsy, by giving Parker a hard hat, safety goggles, and earplugs. He became an honorary tree trimmer.
That's so cool.
Good deed repaid. I love that.
Good deed on those donuts, too. We crushed them.
Man, so good. Thanks for watching. We're back tomorrow at 5.
What Matters Most with Russ and Romney starts right now.
Now at 6, senseless shooting.
When I got back and saw the videos, it was shocking. It was very disturbing because if you could do that to a child, you could do that to anybody.
Police in Akron searching for the person they say opened fire on kids playing outside. The strong message a mother has for whoever did it. Visits revisited. Indoor meetings can start up again today at nursing homes across Ohio. What facilities are doing to keep patients and visitors safe. Senate showdown. Hearings begin on Capitol Hill for President Trump's latest Supreme Court nominee. A recap of today, plus what to expect going forward this week. And we're getting used to this. Another Victory Monday, and we're feeling fine. The voice of the Browns, Jimmy Donovan, joins us with his take and things to watch leading up to next week's game against the Steelers.
From the WKYC studios, this is What Matters Most.
And good evening, I'm Russ Mitchell.
I'm Romney Smith. Laura has the night off. We begin tonight with a wild story out of Akron, Ohio. Police say the man seen in this video fired multiple shots at 2 kids playing outside in their Kenmore neighborhood.
The youngsters tell 3 News the man was angry because they told him to slow down. Investigator Rachel Polanski spoke with them and their parents and has the latest.
When their schoolwork is